Hi, I'm here with Women's Gender Studies Professor Carolyn Salvi. Thank you for being here, Carolyn.
My pleasure.
So it was a long and controversial election season, and ultimately people voted for Donald Trump, even though he used a lot of racist and misogynistic rhetoric, and he also bragged about sexually assaulting women. What do you think his presidency will do or impact women with?
Well, I feel compelled to note that Trump did not win the popular vote, that Hillary Clinton won the popular vote by the largest margin of any candidate in American history, 2.6 million at the latest counting. Trump's win, I think it's really important for us to remember, is not a mandate for his government. He does not, in my opinion, have the full will of the people behind him. And that's to some degree true for any president, right? We live in a politically divided country, and each president must, no matter what their campaign does or says, once they are in the Oval Office, they must step up and earn the trust of the people anew, right? Because campaigning and governing are different projects. What is this going to mean for women? It's going to mean that we have to be vigilant and outspoken about protecting the rights that we have earned over the past 196 years since women got the right to vote in 1920. White women got the right.
And I think what was surprising to find out is that 53% of white college-educated women voted for Trump, even after hearing all the things that he had to say about women's rights and what you just mentioned, all the progression that we took is now taking steps back. Why do you think that many women voted for him?
We have to understand that some of those women are more persuaded or worried about the perceived economic instability of their lives than they are about personal fears of sexual assault, right? So that they feel that what matters to them is about their economic security. People who voted for Trump on the basis of economic instability, they're not being reactionary. They're not being stupid. That's a real set of fears, right? And that's a very valid set of concerns. How am I going to put my kids through college? How am I going to retire in comfort? All of these questions are very real challenges for America right now.
Going off of what you talked about when it comes to questioning how to raise your children and where you want to educate them and things of that sort, throughout his campaign, he made it very clear that he didn't believe Hillary, who is more qualified and has a political background, could run our country simply because she was a female. And obviously there are little girls out there who maybe one day want to work in politics. What do comments like that do for little girls who are impressionable?
It won't have any effect. It won't have any more effect than the general lack of political representation by women does.
During Hillary's campaign, a lot of feminist groups came out to support her, and those who identify as feminists really backed her up in the sense of it was a life-changing experience for them to even see a woman run for president and potentially be our president. But there are so many misconceptions about feminists and the term itself. Most people think that they're men-hating lesbians, which we know is not the case. But why do you believe, aside from all the things that are normalized in our culture and society, why do you think there's so much misconception with the term, and can the term differ depending on one's race, sexual orientation, and things of that sort?
The kind of feminism and the kinds of issues that have been seen as feminist issues, by and large, have been put forward from the position of white middle-class women. And those are not always the issues that speak to everybody, or those are not always the same experiences that everybody is having, right? The white middle-class female experience is not the universal experience.
His comments in the locker room situation, obviously there was a lot of debates over it where some people agreed that things were said in private and they're taken out of context, but then there's a whole other side where people completely disagree. And it plays a role, obviously, in how we as individuals understand the term feminism, as well as rape culture, which has evolved throughout the years in the sense we see it in media. They talk about it at universities. What can universities do to help students better understand how to handle sexual assault cases, victim blaming, rape culture in general?
The first thing that we all have to do on college campuses, in locker rooms, right, is say, that's not acceptable, and that's not how we talk about people. And women are people, and they are not here for our sexual amusement or gratification, right? If you want to have a relationship with a woman and have it be rich and fulfilling and honest, you have to treat her as a full person. If you want to have a hookup with a woman and you want to have that be fun and satisfying and sexy for you and for her, you have to treat her as a full person. We have to start not normalizing that behavior young and early, okay? We need to stop it if we hear it as parents, as coaches, as mentors at the Boys and Girls Club, as whatever. We need to say, that's not normal.
Hopefully we can all work to understand those choices and perspectives. Thank you so much for being here today.
My
Back
pleasure.
to you guys.